Peace and assalamu alaikum, everyone. I just want to take a moment to sort of give my 2 cents about Rob Reiner from All in the Family, Spinal Tap, just all these just great line of work that he's done that I guess most of us put off the bill collectors. A line of work that probably I would suspect most of us have been aware of and touched by it to some degree. And today is Wednesday, December 12th. 2025, and so he and his wife were murdered in their home over the weekend, Sunday morning, I think. And unfortunately, their daughter found them, and apparently, the police are saying that the son or one of his sons murdered him. I don't know. I think there was another son, but I could be wrong. Nonetheless, their son murdered them. Apparently slit their throat, stabbed them multiple times. According to what I heard on a news program, he had gone to a hotel, and the staff said that he was acting really antsy and things, and after he left, there was, blood left in the shower and on some of the linen and things like that. And of course, and I say of course, people of color would know why. Of course, they are already pushing the narrative that he had mental health disorders, or a mental health disorder, and he was he suffered with drug addiction and things like that. Now, mental health is not cut and dry by any means. It's not one size fits all by any means. But I'll say this, in my 53 years of life, I've known many drug addicts, many. Where I grew up, it was really just par for the course. People were, on all sorts of drugs. And I've known many people with mental health issues, perhaps everyone that I know. And, truly. But what I've not known, I've known one person. I've only known one person who was a young person who, personally, I thought she used to get away with murder with her mother. Pardon. But she used to, I thought that she was very spoiled and allowed to be certain ways that were inappropriate with her parent. But, that was just my opinion. So I wasn't at all surprised when I got the news that she stabbed her mother, murdered her mother during an argument or something like that. But in saying that, that's one out of hundreds people that I've known throughout my life with issues. I don't think that this girl had, she did not have any drug addictions that I knew of, nor any mental health disorders aside from perhaps entitlement. Say that to say, again, I've not known anybody who has had drug addictions nor mental health issues that has murdered their one parent, let alone both, slitting the throats, stabbing multiple times, all that sort of thing. No one knows what goes on within a family, besides the family. And, even though we're relatives, we still have our own perspectives on kin and behavior and all that sort of thing. But I just can't help but think and feel empathy for Mr. and Mrs. Reiner. I know the wife has another surname on paper, but Mr. and Mrs. Reiner. I can't help but feel great empathy for them, and just I can't imagine the horror that must have filled them in knowing that their child was about to murder them. I can't fathom. I think the same sort of thing about like my son or like Tupac or different people who embrace folks, love them, do what they can for them, and then to be faced with, betrayal and the very worst thing, I suppose, that you can do to someone, which is murder them. It's just terrible. And of course, again, for all of those who might be saying, like, well, you don't know what could have happened. Yeah, I don't know what could have happened, but I know he murdered his parents. What exactly is the bar? Where's the bar? Like, what is acceptable behavior? Or what is an acceptable cause to say, well, yeah, I can see how he killed his mama and daddy. That happened. Aside from like sexual abuse, I totally get it then. But that's something I'm gonna say unique, in that I know many people, unfortunately, rape their children. But even with whatever percentages that is, it's still not the majority. But I don't know, that's just really crazy to me. Like, that must be one of the worst sins, I would think. And what happens nowadays is that people justify stuff. They like make it truth, integrity, decorum. All those things are, thrown out the window, because people nowadays seem to want to challenge every little thing, especially if it's something that seems to hinge on tradition rather than just reality. There are some things, many things, that are right and wrong. There is a right and a wrong way. I never understand how people claim to be so into nature and whatever, horoscopes or, retrogrades and all this kind of thing. Nature. Until it comes to human nature. And then that's when everything screeches to a stop. And it's like, no, but we can do whatever we want to do. Why? Human beings are part of the natural world. If there's a right and a wrong way for the planets to align and all these other different things, so too is there a right and a wrong way for human beings to behave and to align. But I don't know, I was just sort of pondering this whole thing about the Reiners being murdered by their child, and I think it's just terrible. As a parent and as someone who have a very giving nature, not only for my children, but just generally speaking, I'd be devastated if I looked up and one of my loved ones who I've given to were there to offer my demise as a reciprocation. Just terrible.